What's up, everybody, and welcome to Trend or Trap for Thursday, July 23rd, 2026. I am Dan Karpuc here for TrendsCenter, and I have a special episode on tap today. Not only are we going to discuss MLB, but we are going to get into some college football and NFL trends as well as we get closer and closer to football. But without further ado, let's get right into it with Rays at Blue Jays. Per TrendsCenter, since 2024, Blue Jays home games have gone 46-21-1 to the over. That's 68.66% for 22.9 units of profit, 30.61% ROI against AL East opponents. Is this a trend to tail with over 8.5 or a trap to fade with under 8.5? I'm going to say that this is a trend to tail. Ian Seymour is 6-2 with a 4.79 ERA. He's going to toe the rubber for the Rays, while Shane Bieber, 1-1 with a 5.70 ERA, is going to take the mound for the Blue Jays in this AL East battle. Seymour has pitched to a 6.11 ERA across 4 July outings and essentially operates as more of a long reliever or bulk reliever than a traditional starter. He's going to be backed up by his struggling Rays bullpen as well. Bieber looked sharp in his last outing with 6 shutout frames, but through 5 starts, he owned some troubling advanced numbers, including an 8.54 xERA, 324 xBA, and has also allowed very, very hard contact, including a 53.2% hard hit rate and an 11.7% barrel rate. For context, no qualified starter owns more than a 49% hard hit rate. That's Gavin Williams, and only one owns a higher barrel rate, also Gavin Williams at 12%. While this Rays lineup plays small ball and doesn't really hit the ball hard, they actually don't hit the ball hard the least amount of time. It certainly won't hurt their run scoring outlook, with guys like Junior Caminero, for example, absolutely raking at the plate. I expect the Jays to put across some runs in this one, and I would like the over 8.5. Before we head into some football, if you are looking for a new place to make your sports picks, ProfitX is worth checking out. As America's first federally regulated sports data prediction market approved by the CFTC, ProfitX lets you trade event contracts directly with other market participants 24/7 across all the major sports. Unlike traditional sportsbooks, its exchange model allows users to request and match prices with one another, often creating more competitive odds and better value. New users who sign up with promo code TrendsCenter, that's TrendsCenter, all in caps, can receive $20 in promotional credit after making their first qualifying trade of $10 or more with no rollover requirements. Plus, participant funds are held in segregated accounts at US-based chartered commercial banks, providing an added layer of security. Offer valid for new accounts only. Must be 18 plus and located where legal. Terms and conditions apply. So let's head into some college football. It is Memphis at UNLV in week 0. That's Saturday, August 29th. Per TrendsCenter, since 2022, before week 10, when unranked opponents have met on Saturday at 8 o'clock p.m. or later Eastern time, the under has gone 77, 38, and 3. That's 66.96% for 35.2 units of profit, 27.12% ROI, when the total has been between 50 and 60. So is this a trend to tail with under 58.5 points or a trap to fade with over 58.5 points? I think that this is a trend to tail with the under here for a variety of reasons. In his first year at the helm of UNLV, Dan Mullen led the Rebels to a 10-4 record, and they finished 6-8 to the over-under, coming off a season in which they averaged 203.1 rushing yards, 446.4 total yards, and 34 points per game. The Rebels brought in former Oklahoma and Auburn quarterback Jackson Arnold, but Jaden Thomas, the running back, will be the star. He ran for over 1,000 yards, 12 touchdowns last year, and Jalen Glover, the former Utah back, will also be a factor in the backfield just like he was last year. What worked last year was the run game. That should be the focus once again, especially since Arnold has not proven to be a capable gunslinger, and the receiving corps saw a complete turnover in talent from last season. Last year's defense was decent, but they were amazing at stopping teams on third down. Not only did they hold teams to convert just 33% of their third down attempts, but 7 different opponents under 30%. They also forced 24 turnovers, so lots to like on the defensive end heading into this season as well. This will be Memphis head coach Charles Huff's third school in 3 seasons, as he led Marshall to a 10-3 record in 2024 before Southern Miss to a 7-5 mark in 2025 before taking this Tigers job. Ryan Silverfield led Memphis to an 8-5 mark last year before leaving for Arkansas. Almost this entire Memphis team is made up of transfers, and 12 players even came from Huff's last stop at Southern Miss. So this is essentially a Sun Belt team playing in the American Athletic Conference. Nonetheless, all 22 starters are going to come from most likely through the transfer portal. Offensive coordinator Kevin Decker runs a run-heavy offensive scheme and led Old Dominion to some solid numbers with that philosophy last season, ranking 14th in total offense despite passing the ball just 38.29% of the time. That was the 11th lowest mark in the FBS. It also remains to be seen whether Aaron Nolan, Marcus Stokes, or Denzel Gardner starts at quarterback. I expect it to be Nolan, but all 3 are dual threat options with running ability. I expect the clock to continue running when they have the football and for them to keep the ball on the ground, just like UNLV. Keep an eye also on transfer Dallin Hayden, who spent 2 years at Ohio State and then 2 at Colorado before landing on the Tigers. He's going to be most likely getting the bulk of the carries at running back. Defensive coordinator Lance Guidry worked with LSU's good offense last year and is going to feature multiple players from that Southern Miss team that forced 3 or more turnovers 7 different times with 23 interceptions on the season last year. So some playmakers once again on the defensive side of this Memphis squad. I expect both teams, like I said, to keep that clock running, keep the ball on the ground. And in week 0, you have to think that they're going to have a somewhat basic offensive scheme. I don't think either defense is going to be too bad. The clock should run, and I trust the historical profitability of this system. Give me the under 58.5. Finally, the Cardinals at the Chargers in week 1. This is all the way on September 13th, but it's never too early to start looking at this. Since 1998, week 1 underdogs of 6.5 or more points have gone 52-21-1 against the spread. That's 71.23% for 28.9 units of profit, 35.5% ROI when the total has been 42 points or higher. Is this a trend to tail with the Cardinals plus 10.5 or a trap to fade with the Chargers minus 10.5? This is definitely a trend to tail, in my opinion, with the Cardinals at plus 10.5. Will John Harbaugh and the Chargers presumably be a playoff team and a threat this season? Yes. Are they better than the Cardinals on paper? Yes. But are they worthy of being 10.5 point week 1 favorites over them? I don't think so. That's really the question we have to answer here. Former Rams offensive coordinator Mike LaFleur took over as the head coach of the Cardinals this offseason, and I'm really excited to see what he cooks up with Jacoby Brissett at quarterback, prize rookie Jeremiah Love at running back with both Tyler Algier and James Conner spelling him. This might be the best running back depth in the entire NFL, if you really think about it. Marvin Harrison Jr., Michael Wilson at wideout, and Trey McBride at tight end. Those skill position players are sneakily very good, and I expect this team to be backdoor cover artists all season long since their defense is projected to be pretty bad. Last season, Arizona went 6-11 against the spread, but this coaching change should be transformative, so I'm willing to essentially just throw that out. Last year, the Chargers went 8-9-1 against the spread, and return a decent defense that's projected to be somewhat in the middle of the road in what should be a revamped new look offense with guru Mike McDaniel as the new offensive coordinator. The outside run game, zone run game, play action attack should open things up for Justin Herbert downfield, and he'll be surrounded with a pretty decent group of playmakers. Oronde Gadsden and David Njoku at tight end will be one of the best positional duos in terms of catching the football at the tight end position. I'm not really sold on the receiving core of Quentin Johnston, Ladd McConkey, Trey Harris. The running back room of Omarion Hampton, Kamani Vidal, Keaton Mitchell is above average, but it's tough to foresee this team absolutely blowing the doors off of their opponents here by 11 or more in week 1. This is really about respect here. I'm going to give LaFleur and his new regime that respect in Arizona to kick off the new year here. And I think just 10.5 points is simply too much. Let me know what you think in the comments. And as always, if you made it this far, you have an exclusive promo code to take advantage of. It is POD50, POD50, to take 50% off your first month of TrendsCenter access. TrendsCenter Premium will unlock the entire app. We're talking MLB, we're talking NCAA football, we're talking NFL, we're talking it all. 50% off your first month with code POD50. We do not have any other promos going on now, so exclusive to this audience, you are going to be able to take advantage of that POD50 at checkout once again. Let me know what you think I got wrong, and as always, I will be back right here with another episode of Trend or Trap.